Let's start with the song, okay? Let's start with the song.
I hopped into a coffee shop. I hopped into a coffee shop. I hopped into a coffee shop.
Now, you might think this is useless. It's a little bit annoying, it's a little bit cringe, it doesn't make that much sense, and trust me, if you listen to the end of the song, it is just as bad as it starts. But that's why we're here, because you see, things become bad in time. You know, the Beautiful Games Workshop website has been replaced by Warhammer.com. Now, there's a few things we have to go through. First of all, it's the sanitization of Warhammer as an IP, which started, granted, with the Age of Sigmar release, the first release ever, the introduction of Age of Sigmar. And then it just snowballed to the point where Warhammer became more corporate, including 40k and the change of its logo. And you see, here's the funny thing. The website is named Warhammer.com. Warhammer.com. Warhammer. It's not Games Workshop anything, it's Warhammer. Specifically Warhammer, which is an interesting way of putting the IP in front of the company as to make it more memorable, more recognizable, and easier to sell. Much in the same way Blizzard would do with Warcraft, but nowadays we all know what's happening with Warcraft, and it's quite sad and it's quite tragic. So let's review the site, okay? We got through this little history bit of Warhammer becoming worse. So let's see... You know what, let's see. I want to find Horus Heresy, yeah? No? Not Battle for Middle-earth. But probably there. I want to shop for the Horus Heresy. Yeah, I'll go to the shop for Horus Heresy. Feature releases, starter kits. Where is that? Choose a side, okay? I want to get some traitors. And they need to be... Where is... No, let's go with World Eaters. World Eaters are pretty good. And what do we have here? We finally get to our main page. Now, of course, these are Forge World models, because it comes with an interesting caveat. The Games Workshop site and the Forge World site just got put into one, apparently, and this is what we have. Yes, the prices are quite egregious, but they're Warhammer prices. What can you expect? It's a company that survives off plastic crack. So I hope you counted how long it took us to get here, because there were quite a few clicks needed to get here. More so than you would think necessary. It feels like I spend more time scrolling and clicking than I usually would have on the other side. But you know what? Let's go. Let's shop for 40k. I don't want to go exclusives. I don't care about your Butchery of Dante. I don't care about your Primaris stuff. Let's see. I want Imperium, Space Marines, Chaos, or Xenos. Interesting how they put Space Marines separated from Imperium. But you know what? No, I want to go with Chaos. And, oh, what's this? I can pick either by Legion, it seems. Of course, Emperor's Children is missing, because I expect they will bring it out sooner rather than later. Probably in 10, probably in 11th, who knows. Okay, so these are Demons, Chaos Space Marines. Let's go Chaos Space Marines. It feels harder than when it was just on this side, just click to expand and click my faction without having to go through all of it again. And it really doesn't feel natural. The site feels like they try to make a site that's corporate and they want to be part of that amazing American cultural corporate culture, the same kind of culture that exists everywhere, and people are trying to emulate it, which, you know, yeah, we have to be like California. No, it really seems like they tried and went this route, which is quite stupid, and it's dumb to follow American corporate styles. Let's go again. Let's use Middle Earth, okay? Strategy battle game. I like this one. I don't have as many models as I wish I had of this, but I have quite a lot. I don't have quite a lot, but I have some. Now I want to get myself some Forces of Good, Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I just don't like the way it feels. Let's search randomly for something. Harley. Yeah, Harlequin troop. You know, I always wanted to get Harlequins. I think those are like the only Xenos I can stand up. And they have their image here. What's this? Is this included with the Harlequins? What is it? Do I get a random servitor skull thingy with a parchment if I buy the Harlequin troop? Which, by the way, thematically doesn't make that much sense, but you know, whatever, I guess. Why is this like, you know, no. Right. Let's look at the Blood Angels. Just search for Blood Angels. We have an index, we have a bad book, indexes, Horus Heresy stuff, which is pretty cool. Horus Heresy stuff, again, pretty cool. Okay, so at least they have the decency of showing you the good part, the things that they didn't get Butcher to make Primaris a thing. Then on you at least still get heads, you get a torso, here's a dreadnought. So you still get the good parts without having to deal with Primaris. But don't worry, the Primaris are right after you click the show more button. Now I joke and I piss on Primaris because it's funny and Primaris deserves less, as do Primaris players. But the interesting thing is that when you search for a thing like this, it doesn't ask you what do you want specifically. And I think this is a little bit of a problem once they combine Forge World with the Games Workshop site, because by combining them, you are now showing stuff that 40k players don't want and there's no need for them, and stuff that Horus Heresy players don't want and they have no need for. For example, nobody really has a need for Primaris when it comes to Horus Heresy, unless of course you're touched in the head. But still, you're shown things that don't really matter to you, which is a little bit annoying. And this comes mostly thanks to the combination of, as I said, Forge World and the Games Workshop site, which shouldn't have happened. Or at least if it should be easier to go to the select part, to the search part here, and be able to filter it. But I guess the filters will help. But let's see. Oh yes, I really want space fantasy as my genre. Oh, look, it's the book. It's all sci-fi, but whatever. And it's interesting they have this material list, which saves you a lot, I guess. I don't understand what's the difference between 15 plus resin and normal resin. Let's click and see. Oh, okay, so Finecast and Horus Heresy resin, I get it. Ooh, that's kind of dumb. But hey, at least in the filters, you get to pick whichever one you want. But the fact that the first thing you get here is Horus Heresy based, well, my little Horus Heresy heart is kind of happy for that. But it still doesn't, doesn't feel like it works properly. And this site has this weird design to it. And I don't think anybody likes the way it turned out, especially the corporate and sanitized style that it has. It just doesn't feel like Games Workshop. It doesn't feel like Warhammer. Again, I make this argument that they're trying to be like the corporate American style of things where everybody's smiling and happy and look how nice we are. Like when you get into it, you get this video over and over on repeat, and it shows you cinematics they made for editions. It shows you models. It shows you some of their shows. It even shows you some games, if I'm not mistaken. I think one of those was, the Eisenhower game or something like that, or probably something else. And I think it's interesting they did that, but again, this only helps more to the feeling of it being sanitized. And I don't really like this, because Games Workshop and Warhammer managed to survive and thrive by having their own, that unique, distinctive feel to it, without trying to copy the corporate American style, which I think it's a big shame, in fact, to do that. But nevertheless, what can you do? Warhammer just created a worse site. We're just gonna refer to it as Warhammer because they're hiding their name almost everywhere. If I'm not mistaken, you know what? Let's go. Citadel Colors, the guy that make the colors, I want to say, but technically the same company. Exclusive subscribe miniatures, whatever. Trying to show for the worst subscription service out there. Well, I mean, it has to contend with Netflix though. So. Still, Warhammer is worse. Get involved. Where can I paint? And you have Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, Twitch, Does it say Games Workshop? Yep, it says here. Get the latest news, promotions, hobby tips, and more from Games Workshop. It's interesting that they still kept the Games Workshop name here in this whole little subscribe thing. But if we look here, Warhammer Worlds, the little color, Vault, TV, Plus, Buy, Merchandise, Black Library, Community. Yet, the only place that really has Games Workshop anymore in it is the subscribe thing with your email and the copyright. Which I don't think the copyright will go, but I'm expecting them to change the name of the company wholesale at this point. Okay, I'm joking, they won't do that. It's hard to copyright the word Warhammer. It's dumb if they try to do that, but worse things have happened and more stupid stuff has happened. Unfortunately, this is how the Games Workshop site evolved. It went from something decent to something much worse, much in the same way 40k did with the birth of Primaris. I will never stop making jokes about the Primaris like this, like I will not stop joking about Age of Sigmar sucking, for the most part. Nevertheless, I don't think they'll change the site back. I think we're just stuck with this site that's way worse. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoy this. If you can, I'll see you in the next one.